Hey all, Alex here at your home of the Music Deep Dive, and today we'll be doing a review of the 2008 biography by Walter R. Borneman, Polk, the man who transformed the presidency and America. The 11th President of the United States, James Knox Polk, born the 2nd of November 1795 in Pineville, North Carolina, died the 15th of June 1849 in Nashville. Raised in Tennessee from the age of 11, Polk became one of the main protégés of Andrew Jackson during the 1820s and 1830s, rising to the role of Speaker of the House, then Governor of Tennessee. During the election of 1844, Polk won the presidency as a so-called dark horse candidate by virtue of Jackson's endorsement and encouragement, and his 4 years in the presidency saw a major expansion in the United States, with the annexation of Texas, which was then promptly followed by the Mexican-American War, and the acquisition of the Oregon Territory. Polk's legacy is one of hard work ethic and major effectiveness, accomplishing many, if not all, of his primary goals during his time in the presidency, although the subsequent exhaustion would ultimately kill him mere months into his retirement. This book was written by Walter Russell Borneman, born the 5th of January 1952 in Colorado. A lawyer for a number of years after studying history in college, Borneman started writing books on American history during the 2000s, including books on early American wars such as the War of 1812 and the French and Indian War. This book on Polk is the only biography that Borneman has written to date. Now, based off of those books I mentioned, you would assume that Borneman sort of specializes in writing about military campaigns, and if this Polk bio is any sort of measuring stick, that assumption would be correct. A huge part of Polk's presidency revolved around the Mexican-American War, and Borneman ensures that readers are well informed on the war and how it played out from beginning to end. In fact, Borneman does such a good job of ensuring this that I think it actually hurts the biographical sections. You have huge chunks of pages talking about these military campaigns of generals like Zachary Taylor, and the threads Borneman uses to connect these to Polk's life are very loose ones, like Polk likely wasn't too happy about X, Y, or Z, maybe occasionally referencing a Polk diary entry here and there. Based on that structure, part of me wonders if this wasn't originally supposed to be just a book on the history of the Mexican-American War in the vein of his other books, and the decision was made by either the writer or the publisher or something to focus on Polk to give the book more of a unique bent. Now, I don't mind that decision, and to be fair, the actual bits of biographical writing are perfectly competent. The book is primarily about Polk's presidency, so his pre-presidency is sped through without all that much interest in intricate details, but once it gets to the 1843-44 mark, it does a good job of contextualizing everything. You can't say Borneman ever lacks for that, even in parts that don't deal with war at all. Polk himself feels held at arm's distance a bit and not quite ever being fully realized as a human being. But with a lot of the presidents from this period of history, I don't know how much I can fault the biographer for that, since there's less info available compared to some of the more popular presidents from 20 years earlier or 20 years later. But for all his obscurity, Polk has met with a massive critical reappraisal over the last 60 to 70 years, and Borneman seems very inclined to make a case for Polk being, if not one of the very best American presidents, certainly one of the most effective ones. He does well at this and at painting Polk as this very nose-to-the-grindstone type of person who more or less worked himself to death, and describing how Polk effectively made sure to accomplish each of his major goals during those 4 years with a diligence that few other presidents have ever really been able to channel. And in that sense, I think this book does what it's supposed to. If it's not a perfect biography, which it certainly isn't, it educates the reader on the era, on the man, and on how he changed the era. If you're willing to put up with limited details on Polk's early life, his inner thoughts, and other more introspective things that characterize a lot of biographies, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this as a read. Give it a go, especially if you need a primer on the Mexican-American War and don't want to get bogged down in pages upon pages of military strategy. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more reviews are to come. Tell a friend as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here at your home of the Music Deep Dive.